Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. First off, I just want to say I am sorry for taking a week off. I was just getting kind of stressed out about uploading all the time. I don't know. 4 videos a week gets kind of stressful when you have to like record to actually have something to upload. So I was like, you know what, let me just take a week so I can recover a little bit and rest. That sounds so dramatic, but yeah. Anyways, I just want to thank you guys for sticking around. So as you can see, we have a new update and I am definitely going to talk about it. I already read through it, so I'm just going to go through it again really quick and highlight specific points that I think are interesting and just give my thoughts overall. And let me know what you guys think about this update, because there's some interesting things in here, at least in my opinion. First off, before I even get into that though, I feel like finding this post was like weird. I don't know if anybody noticed that on the hub, you can't actually find this post. You can like find the post announcing this post, and that post linked to this post, but this post wasn't actually available. I think it's because this one isn't going to be available until tomorrow, because that's when the date, like you can see the date right there, July 1st. So it's kind of weird. And by the way, I feel like this is super last minute. Like they didn't say anything until today that there was even going to be an update, which is super weird, but it is what it is. Anyways, without further ado, by the way, you guys, I'm probably not going to put any music in the background. I have my TV on and I'm playing Fantasy Life, so if you can hear that music, I guess that'll be like the music that comes into this, if you can even hear it. And also I have my ceiling fan on, so there you go. All right. I'm just gonna skip to the new variants. So, well, the theme for this is like sisterly bonds, so, or family ties. I actually think this artwork is really cute, by the way. This is cool. Look, there's Roxy and Molly and Panzer Faust, or however you say his name. Fist, I don't remember. All right, so the new variants we have are Iron Matron, Parasol, and Angel Maker Umbrella. Oh, that's kind of cute. They're both like holding their hands out. I mean, I knew that they were holding their hands out, but I guess you can take it as like Parasol's reaching down to Umbrella, who's reaching up to Parasol. That's pretty cute. I don't know who these characters are based on, so you guys are gonna have to tell me. And I feel like that shouldn't come as a surprise. Alright, so let's start with Iron Matron Parasol. Okay, so for her signature ability, detonated tears grant 1 stack of enrage for up to 15 seconds on hit, and dash attacks are unblockable while benefiting from at least 3 stacks of enrage. Successful dash attacks grant miasma and inflict armor break for up to 5 seconds each. Okay, the only 2 Parasols that I've ever used are Locked In and Indomitable, and when it comes to Locked In, who I use, at this point I use way more than Indomitable, you don't ever want to detonate her tears because she needs tears for her ability to even work, so it would be kind of counterproductive to blow them up, and I just don't have anything like that equipped to Indomitable, so I don't ever play like this, so I think it'd be interesting to try out though. But yeah, the only thing, okay, actually no, one thing I'm questioning about this character is the miasma, because it says it only lasts for up to 5 seconds each. Successful dash attacks grant miasma and inflict armor break for up to 5 seconds each. That just seems really short. I don't know, that seems super short to me. Okay, next we have Umbrella. When tagging from Umbrella, the incoming fighter gains 3 stacks of enrage, 3 stacks of miasma, and immunity for up to 20 seconds each. That is insanely long, at the cost of up to 25% of Umbrella's max health. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. When Umbrella tags in, gain 3 stacks of evasion, 3 stacks of regen, and immunity for up to 15 seconds each, and drain 35%, well, up to 35% blockbuster meter from the opponent. Okay, first off, I don't ever tag out from battle. Like, I just don't like switching my characters. I think a part of that comes from the fact that I constantly use Starshine. And Starshine's ability, which actually, for some reason, I don't remember the details now, but back then, if you tagged out, her permanent precision would be lost. So I basically never tagged out, and that's just how I've been playing ever since. Although maybe it's just how I've always played, and I shouldn't blame Starshine for that. But either way, this character is probably somebody I will never use, like even if I did get her, because I can't tag out or tag in. It's just not in my nature. I don't know why. I just don't like to do it. I'll do it if I really have to do it, but for the most part, I just won't do it. But with that being said, this actually sounds really cool. 3 stacks of enrage, 3 stacks of miasma, and immunity for up to 20 seconds each. That's crazy. But you have to tag from Umbrella, so she has to be the first out. So I guess if you were going to use that, you would have her in first and then switch her out to somebody that you actually want to use. That's an interesting way to play. I feel like this would be also an interesting character to have as a defensive variant. Not a defensive variant, but as a defender. That would be interesting to see, because the enemy constantly tags out, I feel like. And even though she loses a ton of her health, you can just tag her back in to gain some of that health back. And heck, you could even throw in somebody that like heals the party. Like if you used her and Palace Plunderer, I feel like that would be a weird combination, but if you did do that, then Palace Plunderer's ability heals her teammates on the bench, so you could like use them to tag in and tag out and stuff. And yeah, she also gives herself evasion, so she kind of gives herself a little bit of a safety net if you aren't able to, or like just in case you're about to get hit by something and your regen isn't healing you fast enough. So that's kind of cool. And she takes away their blockbuster meter. I don't know, this character sounds interesting. I feel like I would never use her because it's just not in my playstyle, but I still respect her. All right, okay, so next we have the characters featured in the Revolutionary Relic. So I'm just going to skip over the silvers because who cares? And then we have the gold fighters. So this time, of course, we have Iron Matron Parasol, but this time around we have Octoplasm Marie, and I think I understand why she's here because there's some notes on her, and Scaregiver Cerebella, and same with her, she got some updates. And then the diamond characters, we have Near Death Valentine, Angel Maker Umbrella, of course, and then Ogre Achiever Beowulf. All of these characters with the exception of Umbrella have gotten a buff, so that's pretty cool, but we'll talk about that once we get there. I don't know. Okay, actually, speaking of which, I don't have any of these characters. Well, I have Octoplasm. Actually, I have Octoplasm and Scaregiver. You know what? Skip over to the diamonds because that's what I meant. That's what I really meant to go to when I started talking about that. I don't have any of these diamonds except for Jin Frizz. I don't have, well, obviously I don't have Angel Maker, but I don't have Neuromancer, I don't have Ogre Achiever, and I don't have Near Death. If I were to get any of these characters, I feel like, honestly, I think I would want to use Near Death because I do actually really like Guard Break. It's just hard to use in No Mercy specific. Well, it's not that Guard Break's hard to use. It's hard to use Near Death's damage increase thing while Guard Break is active because Guard Break just doesn't last as long in No Mercy. But still, I think it'd be fun to try her. All right, so because of, well, they explain it here. Basically, for the Shard Exchange, they're going to have the characters that were featured in the January and March prize fight relics. So we have Glacial Ghoul Squiggly, Dawn Passion Eliza, Sheer Force Philia, Wave Warrior Annie, Stellar Huntress Black Dahlia, and Rhythm Rider Big Band. I already have Rhythm Rider, Wave Warrior, and Sheer Force, and Glacial Ghoul. Actually, dang, I have almost all these people. The only people I don't have are the ones that I didn't even care about to begin with. Dawn Passion Eliza and Stellar Huntress Black Dahlia. So I guess I am not going to be exchanging my shards this month because I have pretty much all these characters, except for the ones that I don't care about, like I just said. Okay, so apparently they are making the 2x XP multiplier a permanent thing in the monthly prize fights. I think that's really cool, and I actually really like that because I have been using that to grind a little bit. And they also apparently are changing the Cabinet of Curiosities a little bit. It says they're changing the item availability and prices. I don't know what they mean exactly by item availability. Prices, I assume that just means, oh yeah, here we go. Overall prices have been lowered in the Theonite tab, and item selections in all tabs have been changed. I don't know what that means. Well, it says they'll give more details later, which I hope they do because I need some specifics. Like the Theonite change you could see for yourself, but the other thing, not so much. You know what? Speaking of the Cabinet of Curiosities, I have not used the Theonite tab at all. Like, the only thing I've been tempted to get is a diamond key, but that's about it. But I really don't want to spend Theonite. Unless it's for like a specific character, then I would totally do it, but otherwise, nah. All right, so now this is an update on all the old characters from the previous backstage passes that are getting added to the Premier Jackpot Elemental Character Relic pool. So they're available in all the relics. So we have Near Death Valentine, Masked Menace Pay and Whale, Locked In Parasol, Spellbent Marie, Chaos Theory Double, and Pickleballer Beowulf. Okay, this is awesome because I really want to get Spellbent Marie, and I saved my Marie relics. I still have them. I'm definitely going to use them at some point. I don't know when. I don't know. The next time I do a relic pool, I was going to do Premier relics, but maybe I'll do character relics instead, even though I did that last time. I probably will end up doing that again because I really want to get Spellbent. I already have Locked In, and I already have Pickleballer, but like if I get them again, I would not be upset. Masked Menace is really cool still. I didn't want to exchange shards for her because I just didn't. I don't know. But honestly, if I ever get her, I think I would level her up. And Near Death, I already talked about her, so I have nothing to say about Chaos Theory Double. I tried to use her in No Mercy and I sucked horribly, so yeah. Okay, finally, so we have balance changes. This is something that is super interesting because I kind of didn't expect any balance changes, but we're actually getting quite a few. So let's just start with Octoplasm. This thing makes it evident that like the highlights for this are Octoplasm Marie and Last Hope Valentine, so we'll just go in order. All right, Octoplasm. So first off, we're going to start by reading her old ability. I know it does it new ability first, but I think it makes more sense to look at the old ability first, at least when talking about it. Okay, so previously, Octoplasm's ability made it so while she was alive, opponent debuffs were extended, well, opponent debuff durations were extended by 5 seconds, but it did not affect water fighters, which is really odd. I always thought that was kind of weird. And then when using a mortuary charge, remove all opponent buffs and inflict quietus for 35 seconds. Also grant permanent heavy regen to all water teammates. I never used Octoplasm ever, except when I was trying to just use her debuff duration extension thing. That's the only time I ever used her. I never actually used her to fight. I did use her once in No Mercy because I got her as a recruitment character, so I was like, might as well try her, but I really wasn't, I mean, I don't know, I wasn't impressed. Like, the heavy regen was cool, but also it was like not that useful. I don't know, I just always found this character weird. Like, even when they first released all the Maries, I thought this was the one of the strangest ones amongst the gold ones. Like, Gustbuster was really awesome, Dark Horse was really awesome. I forgot what Toph Marie is called, but I don't know if I'd say she's awesome. I also don't really like using her, but her ability made more sense to me than Octoplasm. But yeah, anyways, so I never used her before, but now we have her new ability. When tagging to or from Marie, great, you guys know how I feel about tagging, water teammates gain 2 stacks of regen for 15 seconds and up to 15% blockbuster meter. And while Marie is alive, water teammates hits have a 15 or up to 25% chance to inflict bleed, slime, or quietus for 50 seconds each while benefiting from regen. Okay, this first ability I will probably never use because, like I said, I don't ever like to tag out. Like, I guess if I get kicked out of battle or whatever it's called, outtaked out of battle, I don't know, then I think that'll still count for it, so that'd be cool, but like, otherwise I don't see myself ever doing that. Just to gain regen and blockbuster meter? I don't think so. Like, at least with Umbrella, you're gaining like a million different buffs, but with this, not so much. But with that being said, this other ability sounds awesome. While Marie is alive, water teammates hits have a 25% chance to inflict bleed, slime, or quietus for, oh, that's amazing. But you have to have regen. That kind of sucks. But I feel like with the right pairing, that's really not too hard to get. I'm trying to think of who could even give themselves regen, and I got nothing. I don't know. I feel like I don't use too many water characters, so, but I feel like the right team could really take advantage of this. So I'm definitely gonna try to use Octoplasm at some point, especially with characters like Annie, because I do have Wave Warrior and I also have what's her face, Materia Girl, and those are both water characters, but I mentioned them specifically because Annie has a lot of attacks that, well, she, you know what, maybe not a lot. She has 2 attacks that I could think of, Gravity Slingshot and Sagan Beam, which hit quite a few times, so imagine all of those stacks of slime. Oh my gosh, that's going to be amazing. I would say stacks of bleed, but like, bleed is useless in No Mercy, but at least slime will kind of counteract the bleed. Yeah, I don't know, I'm excited for that. That's pretty cool. And then there's Last Hope Valentine. Okay, so previously, once per match when any teammate is defeated, resurrect with 25% health. I still think this wording is super weird. Like, I get how it works now, but the wording was just bizarre to me. Okay, so they changed it, so now while Valentine is alive, when any teammate is defeated, resurrect that teammate with up to 25% health. This effect only occurs once per other teammate. Okay, so basically the way they changed it was original Last Hope Valentine's ability, I think it was just when she died, she just, I don't know why I'm saying I know this is how it worked. When she died, she just came back to life, and that was kind of all there was to it. I think there was more to it than that, but that's the only part that I remember. So they kind of just reversed it, so now it affects her teammates rather than her, which I think makes more sense to me. I still think this other ability was just kind of weird. Like, I don't like the fact that it worked while she was dead. That didn't make any sense to me, because from what I know, from what I assume I should say, because I don't know every character's ability, but I don't think any character has a signature ability that works while they're dead. Like, they might have an ability that works when they die, but it's weird to me that her effect, like, worked while she was dead. That bothered me so much. I guess Squiggly kind of does something like that, but that's her Marquee ability, and Marquee abilities, I feel like they work outside of the realm of signature abilities anyway, because you can't really do anything to stop them from happening. So yeah, moving on. So next we have Pyrotechnique Valentine. I don't even have this Valentine. According to this, she now inflicts bleed, so that's cool for her fans, I guess. Scaregiver, this one's kind of cool too. So they just buffed her heal or her drain power, and they also buffed the chance she has to gain enrage, which I like because I tried using Scaregiver. I'm not very good with Cerebella just because I need to practice with her, but I did like the idea of her ability, so maybe I'll try to use her again. Near Death, they made it so her blockbusters deal more damage, or whenever her blockbuster damage increases, it's a higher increase. That's pretty cool. I tried to use her once in No Mercy, and it did not go well, just because I couldn't gain 3 or more stacks of Deadeye. It just was impossible. Did I just say Deadeye? I meant to say Guard Break. Yeah, I just couldn't do it, so I was never able to take advantage of her blockbuster increase damage thingy, but still, that's pretty cool. And this one is scary to me. Ogre Achiever. While in hype mode, blockbusters have a 100% chance to grant permanent enrage and heal for 10% health. Enrage is removed when knockdown has been removed. So I guess Ogre Achiever can now just gain permanent enrage. I mean, I say that's scary because I feel like if I fought a Beowulf that suddenly just had permanent enrage, I'd be slightly terrified. But I guess it's more effective if you're actually using him, so I don't know, an interesting buff that I was not expecting, but that's pretty cool for Ogre Achiever fans. I don't even have him, so this is totally irrelevant to me. Unless I fight him, I guess, but whatever. It's not like permanent enrage is the thing that really frustrates me about this guy. It's his stupid preventing buff thing. All right, you guys, final two things. Okay, so this is a minor rework that was done. Well, it was a minor rework, but I feel like it was also a major one. It was done to these characters, Risky Ginger, Idle Threat, Mistrial, and Chameleon Twist. So basically the wordings on their abilities were changed from on dashing opponents to on attacking opponents. And this is a huge deal, you guys, because I feel like a part of the reason these characters was kind of unappealing was just the difficulty of using their signature abilities. Because how do you even hit a dashing opponent? That just seems hard. Like, hitting an attacking opponent is one thing, just block and then while they're attacking you, wait for an opening and then hit them and it'll count. But a dashing opponent is a whole other thing because it felt like there was a lot of risk involved. So yeah, I really like this change. Now, of course, the only character on this list that I actually have, well, that's a lie, I have all of them, but the only one that I've ever used is Idle Threat, so... And speaking of which, I actually just gonna mention this now. The reason... Okay, I don't know if you guys remember that I did my Idle Threat versus No Mercy video. I waited a while to do that one. Specifically, I waited for Pickleballer to come out because I just felt like her ability is really hard to activate. She has the thing where she evades an attack and she gets whatever. I don't remember her exact ability, but basically she has to evade an attack to activate her ability. And then her other ability makes it so she has to hit a dashing opponent. That just seemed impossible to me. So I'm like, what on earth is this character? But I knew with Pickleballer's help with evasion, it would actually be feasible to at least activate one of them. So, but honestly, if this update had come out sooner, then I wouldn't have even needed Pickleballer because the on-attacking opponents thing does make a big difference. All right, anyways, so the final thing that they have here is, or are bug fixes. Okay, so, oh, sorry, it just started raining. Okay, fixed an issue where the interactions between Shear Force's SA1 and Soul Crusher Black Dahlia's SA1 would cause a crash. I knew Shear Force was glitched. Okay, I said Shear Force is glitched, I think, because the game keeps crashing when I use her, but I wasn't 100% sure because it only happened to me like maybe 3 times, but it happened to me so sporadically. Like, it's not like I just kept spamming Shear Force. I used Shear Force once and then it crashed, and then like a while would pass, maybe like a couple days, and then I'd use Shear Force again and then the game would crash, but I didn't connect the dots. I just like, wait a second. Whenever the game would crash and I was using Shear Force, I'd be like, why is it Shear Force that's glitched? What's going on here? I didn't realize that Soul Crusher was also glitched. That's super weird. But oh yeah, but nobody confirmed this to me about whether or not Shear Force was glitched. I thought she was glitched, but no one ever said anything about it. So I thought maybe I was the one going crazy, but I knew it. Hopefully this is actually fixed because I do want to use her. I'm just scared to use her because every time the game crashes, that counts as a loss, and it really is annoying. Anyways, fixed an issue where skill points were not being shown when attempting to purchase something using skill points in the Cabinet of Curiosities. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think... Honestly, I'm at the point where when I have used the Cabinet of Curiosities, I only look to see if there's diamond keys available, and you can't buy diamond keys with skill points, so this has never been. Which I should be paying more attention, though, because you can buy characters with skill points. Moving on. Fixed an issue where the refresh cost for the Cabinet of Curiosities was not resetting after a refresh. Okay, I don't reset the Cabinet of Curiosities because I don't like to spend Theonite, so that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, this was the update, the 7.3.1 update. So let me know what you guys think. I am excited for, I guess I already kind of explained that I really like some of the changes that they did. For Octoplasm Marie, for sure. Last Hope Valentine, I like this change too, just because, I mean, it makes her easier to fight, to be honest. So I like that. Not that she was hard to fight, but she was just kind of annoying. Like, I feel like Valentine is annoying enough, but come on. I don't have Pyrotechnique, so I don't care. Scaregiver, I like. And then, of course, the change from dashing opponents to on attacking opponents is awesome. So, and obviously the Shear Force glitch fix, which I hope is fixed. Other than that, I think that's it. Oh, well, I mean, pending thoughts on Cabinet of Curiosities, because I don't have the specifics here, so I don't even know what to think about it. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the update. What are you excited for? What do you dislike? How do you feel about the character reworks and changes? And what do you think about... I mean, I don't think there's much else to say about that. I was going to say, what do you guys think about the diamond choices for the diamond relic? Personally, I'm excited because I don't have... Well, I only have Jin Frizz. I don't have any of these other people, so... Although if I get Umbrella, I don't know, maybe I'll try to use her. I know I said I wasn't going to, but you never know. But yeah, that's going to be it for this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. And it's good to be back. So yeah, goodbye for now. Last thing, weirdly, I was able to accept the reward from the daily rewards. For some reason, I thought this was like a monthly thing, like the daily login thing. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I thought this was like the daily login where you can only accept it for the month, but once you accepted all the rewards, you had to wait for the next month before like the whole thing refreshed or reset. But I guess that's not the case. So if that's the case, then you guys really need to like log in every single day to accept these rewards. Unless this is some kind of mistake. I don't know. Whatever, that's all I had to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.